Hello and good evening from RPM Esports. This is High Gear tonight. I'm RPM Jones and we're round 8 in China. And we've got 19 on the grid at the moment. I think we may also have 20. Brent may be joining in qualifying. He's having some issues with PlayStation Network at the moment. But this promises to be an exciting round of racing here. Just to give you a quick run through where we are with the championship at the moment. We've got Colin leading the way in first place, Luke in second place, Jetfish third, Andrew fourth, and Brent fifth. So obviously Brent will be hoping he can get in to the lobby as quick as possible, being so high up in the championship. Unfortunately, everyone in the chat, you're stuck with just me tonight. So feel free to interact, and I'll use the chat as my co-coms tonight. And as we can see already, the usual from some of the guys, especially Colin, he tends to put a few laps in on the mediums, find its pace, and usually very quick. Hello Richie, hello Just Legends, nice to have you here today. Just Legend cheering for Luke. Well, yeah, Luke's in second, so he'll be hoping for another good show in here. He's won a couple of races recently, I think. Maybe I commentated on, was it Singapore that he won, which was a great drive, so we'll see if Luke can do it again today. Yeah, and at the moment everyone's just coming round. I have a feeling Colin's going to be the first one on a flying lap, so we'll go on board with that and see how he gets on. To keep you updated on the Constructors' Championship, we've got Ferrari with a mighty lead out in front, which Richie will be extremely pleased about. And then it gets very, very tight in the mid-pack. Alfa Romeo on 160 points, Alpine on 159, Mercedes on 157, and McLaren on 154. So 4 teams separated by 6 points, so look out for that. And in chat, if you could let me know if you can hear me okay. Obviously I have no idea at the moment. It's the first time I've done this on my own, so you might have to bear with me a bit tonight. And I'll also be taking predictions on qualifying. If you can predict me the top 3 guys, and we'll see who gets closest. And Colin's flying through this lap already. It's always a pleasure to be on board with Colin. He just seems to get every corner inch perfect. And we'll see what time he can post on the mediums. He'll be the first one to set a banker lap and kind of set the gauntlet for everyone else. Thanks Richie and Cass for, I've probably pronounced that wrong, Car Spear, for telling me the audio's okay. As Colin comes through, he's got one more corner to go. Let's see what time he can post. Takes a lot of curb on the inside, uses the limits on the outside, and he crossed line for a 1:31.8. And I think the pole position last night in mid-gear by another Ferrari driver, which was Evil Master, was a 1:31.6. And Yanni on the soft tyres goes a bit quicker, albeit on the soft tyres, but that's a really good banker lap from him. And Jetfish, it's all change at the top here. Let's see if we can catch someone on a lap. We've got Luke coming to the end of his lap. And I know there's quite a few interested people in the chat for Luke here. And we've had a few more cross line. KVKFC on a 1:32.4. Yeah, Luke looked like he had a bit of an oversteer moment again, so there's time for him still. He's got his first run on the board, it's 5th place. And we've got Ricard coming to the end of the lap here as well. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch as much as I can. And Ricard crosses the line in 1:31.6. Glad we caught the last corner of that, and that's a 10th over Jetfish, so it's tight at the top. And Ricard's just getting out of the way of... Is that his teammate coming through? No, it's... Rick, that's there. Evil Master's invalidated. Sorry guys, I don't have the TAS as well tonight, so I'm trying to keep up to date as much as I can. We've got Backer on the mediums. Let's see what he can do comparative to Collins' time. It's 1:31.8 to aim for. Although it looks like he's completely backed out of this lap. It's good to see we've now got Brent in the session. We've got Rick on a flying lap here, and he, according to the data, it's a purple first sector. And he's got some traffic coming up. Let's see how he handles this. And then he's got... It can be a tricky corner, this one, because you can lose traction throughout. And if you can get it nice exit on a straight, then obviously you make up all the time down the straight. Let's see if he's got a low or high downforce set in here. DRS wide open. And that's going to give him extra speed down the straight. 2 corners left. Let's see what time he can post. And coming into the last corner, flicks it into the left-hander. A little bit tentative, but uses the track limits nicely. And it's a 1:32.4 for Rick, so that puts him up into 5th place. Yeah, Backer definitely wasn't on a push lap. He's set a 2:04. He might be going for it now on those mediums. Looked a little bit tentative coming out of there, but that might be because of the mediums. And it's a very tough part of the track, that, because you're flying in so quickly from the left-hander and you've got to get right tucked back over to the right-hander. It's such high speeds there. Well, and as we can see in the top right, Backer's 30 seconds up on his time, but that's not massively surprising considering such a slow outlap. We've got Richard saying go Luke. I'm assuming from the surname you're a family member as well. Yeah, and he made a mistake on his first lap, but he's got a lot more time to find, so we'll see how he gets on. Yeah, and good point from Richard. Rick is still adapting with the no traction control, but he's getting quicker and quicker. And here's his brother crossing the line, and a 1:32.7. So, I mean, Rick's out-qualified his brother at the moment, but Backer's done that on the medium tyres. Try and find someone else on a flying lap here. We've got Cosmo down in 17th at the moment, trying to get a time on the board. Let's see how he gets on. Do you need to set the fastest time in a lap to win? In qualifying, you need to set the fastest lap time now to put your car in first position for the race, which obviously is advantageous. But it's a long race. I think it'll be over 30-odd laps. So just because you're on pole position doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win it, if that makes sense. We've got Maggot also on a flying lap here. It'd be interesting to see, just from my perspective, what Evil Master can do. I can see he's on an out lap at the moment. He was on pole position in mid-gear. So we'll see what he can do. Unfortunately, he DNF'd in mid-gear, but these things can happen in racing. Yeah, and unfortunately for some of the spectators riding on board, down the straight is obviously not much action until they get to the corners. As Colin goes fastest on those soft tyres, a whole 9 tenths ahead of Ricard there, so an unbelievable time for him on the softs, and that is now the benchmark. As Maggot crosses the line, that's a very good and competitive time, 1:32 dead. And we'll get on board with Evil Master, the mid-gear pole sitter, to see what he can do. And clearly from the bottom right we can see that he's running the fuel very low here, so really hoping to maximise his lap here. And he comes onto this long straight. Just 2 braking points left for him. Yeah, and that's a great point, Richie, because yeah, Colin had a problem with his wheel in Singapore, which caused him to crash out, disconnecting. And Evil Master puts in a 1:31.8. That puts him 6th. He's been driving in mid-gear this season, but in mid-gear I think he set a 1:31.6, so he's at least got 2 tenths left in there. So he'll be hoping he can at least get up to 3rd here. And I've missed that Rotation has also done a 1:30.9, so that's very competitive. Not far off Colin either, so that's going to give Colin something to think about. I'm trying to see who's trying to catch who's on a flying lap here, guys. This one's invalidated. Lucis is coming round. And onto the final corner. It's 1:31.5, puts him up into 3rd. It's a very competitive time, and it's getting real tight in that top lot here. Well, it's just a look at the chat, Cass. It's nice to have you. I hope you enjoy the F1. It's always entertaining to see Luke race. He's a very competitive racer and always does quite well on the strategy, so watch it as the race unfolds. A bit of a lock-up from Andrew there going into that corner. Let's see if that's compromised. We're coming up to the end of sector 2 here. He's still 3 temps up. I think we've got about 5 minutes left of qualifying, so we're going to have the shootout, and I think the shootout is going to come down to Rotation and Colin as things are looking just separated by just over 1/10 at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Obviously with this track things work out a little bit different with that long straight. The setup can come into play a lot more with the downforce these guys are running. Andrew's coming up the line now, and that's a 1:31.7, put himself into 5th. So it's all starting to close up around the top 5. I think we've got Backer on a hot lap here, just coming through sector 2. He'll be hoping to improve on his 13th. He's been qualifying well so far this season, and he's 3 temps up at the moment. Yeah, and Richie, I'm not surprised to see you saying that. The biggest Ferrari fan I know. And Luke and Colin have been doing very well recently. But it looks like the McLarens are doing a bit of teamwork here. Yeah, a nice little toe on the straight from KFC there. And Bakker might return the favour on the next lap. Keeps it in the track limits. And it's a 1:31.8. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that. So in case anyone's wondering why Brent is still in the pits, obviously 5th in the championship at the moment, because he joined late, I believe it's a rule that he can't set that qualifying lap. But we'll ride on board with KFC at the moment, and he'll be looking for that toe-in return from Bakker on the straight. And then we'll try and catch the shootout for pole from Rotation and Colin. And KFC's only not even 500ths up on his time, so he'll be hoping this toe counts for a lot. Another Ferrari fan, the mighty Frax. Come on, Luke and Colin. Well, there's a lot of Ferrari fans in here tonight, and we'll see how they get on. They've got a good chance at the moment. Colin on pole, Luke's coming out to do another lap. KFC comes across the line, and he finds a lot of time in that final sector. That toe did count for a lot, and that's 1.3 second improvement, and he's put himself in the mix, but he won't have another lap, so that's the best he can do at third. We'll go on board with rotation in the shootout for pole. A bit of wheel spin out of that corner there. Now he's got these fast left-handers, flicks it in here, and he'll have to get it back over to the right and tuck it in for the braking as he goes left. Uses all the curb on the exit, and again. And he's 600ths up, which isn't going to quite be enough. So he'll need to nail the last two corners to pip Colin. He has a bit of a moment onto the straight. And now it's all about the braking. All about the braking into here. Can he get the apex and get a nice acceleration out of here? He gets it nice and smooth. One corner left. He needs to flick it left and use all the track limits he can. He's invalidated. And let's see what he would cross the line with. And he did finish up slower. So Colin is on pole unless anyone can beat him, but we'll see if he can improve. Yeah, and I agree, Richie. It's although Colin's had some good battles, it's just his pace and his consistency is so hard to beat. He's very good at just doing exactly what he needs to. He gets it tucked in nicely, smooth acceleration. Over to the right hand side. Makes that corner as wide as possible. Has a bit of a twitch of oversteer, but he's gone faster again. He improves by a tenth and a half, and it's a mighty time. But rotation just 3 tenths behind. It's going to make it interesting in the race, see how their race pace figures out, because obviously we don't know who's running what setup. And Yanni's retired from the session. I guess he's not improved. Andrew's up on his time at the moment. But he's down on his time in sector 2. Let's see if we can catch Jetfish is not on a lap. Have we got Sminotla here? Yeah, and Sminotla's 9 tenths up through sector 2. Yeah, I agree, Cass. Watching these guys in high gear is incredible what they can do. They're so quick, and how they nail it every time is unbelievable. And Sminotla does improve, but only by 6 tenths in the end, and that puts him up to 14th. Andrew's come into the pits, so what we see now will be our grid. Obviously, Brent was unfortunate with some technical issues rather than a poor qualifying to start 20th. Marco also didn't put in a lap, but for anyone who doesn't know, from the top 10 they have to start on the tyres they qualified on. Outside of the top 10 they get a free tyre choice. That strategy comes into play, so be prepared to see some different strategies playing out. From what I understand is it can be high on tyre deck here. Last night we had a few safety cars, so that changed that around a little bit. But as you can see, we've got Colin on pole. 3 temps from rotation, unfortunately invalidating his last lap, but Colin had enough anyway. KFC in third. We've got Yanni 4th, Ricard 5th, Lucis 6th, Andrew 7th, Jetfish Backer, Evil Master rounding out the top 10. We've got Rick having a good qualifying session there with no traction control. Clearly getting used to it a bit now. Maggot 12th, Luke 13th. He'll be hoping to make it up in the race. Minotla 14th, Higgsy 15th, 16th, Emfram Tabone. That's a tough one. Oh no, it's Joe and Cosmo. And then Marco and Brent didn't set a lap. So my question for you, the chat guys, is can we have a top 3 prediction? It could all go out the window. Every time I seem to predict a top 3, it completely changes, and they almost finish the bottom 3. So I'll try and not predict a top 3, because otherwise I'll have some angry drivers sending me messages after the race. Richie, if there's no safety car, I predict 1 or 2 running out of fuel. Yeah, I think as well with high gear comparative. I mean, I race in low gear. I haven't raced the last few weeks, but I tend to go quite safe on fuel. I think the high gear guys, they're much better at judging it, but they do take it to a finer line than possibly we do in low or mid gear. So it is a possibility. And obviously, if you're running into that issue, it's where you can save fuel, because obviously there's a massive straight. You can't really let off the throttle down there. You have to lift and coast somewhere else. Right, so we got a formation lap and Colin leading us off, and all the drivers will be trying to get their tyres nice and warm. I'll have a look at the tyres, see if we can read into the strategy at all. And that has made it interesting, actually. We've got, obviously, the front 10 on softs. They have to start on those tyres because they qualified on them. Rick, well placed in 11th on the hard tyres. We imagine he'll be going for a one-stop. Maggot, Lucas, Minotla on the mediums. We'll have to see what they do. It lends itself to a two-stop or a one-stop, but they might have to pit for hards unless they can extend the mediums. Higgsy and M from Tabone on the hards. We got Oh No, it's Joe and Cosmo on the mediums, and Marco on the soft. So he's hoping for a fast start, and obviously the guys in front won't have as quick tyres at the start. And then Brent on the hards, he'll be trying to make the most of starting 20th. I imagine a one stop to try and not lose any time in the pits. So Richie's hoping rotation can get a podium. I mean, I can do a prediction for you if you want, because it's a very long straight here. I'll risk the angry drivers, actually. I think Colin will finish first. I think rotation will be second. And I'm going to predict Jetfish in third. I think Jetfish will have some good race pace. I've used one of his setups before, and it tends to be very nice and smooth. But that could be a rogue prediction from me, and you watch me get it completely wrong. Right, they're forming up. I think if we got everyone on the grid now. Brent's just taken his position. So the lights will start to go red very soon. And let's hope for a clean start into the first corner. It can be chaotic. Can we see the lights here? It's a long wait. And we got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. The lights are out. Okay, let's go. And rotation, what a start from him. And KFC. So Collins lost 2 places right off the start. You've got the McLaren on the outside, which gives him the inside line to the left-hander. And what a start from rotation. He absolutely nailed that. Got the perfect revs and flew off the start. And even the second phase was beautiful. We got some changing of positions back here as well. We got Lucist and Yanni battling into the left-hander. Lucist just getting in front into there. It's very tight. Let's see if Colin's right on the back of KFC here. Now, we don't have DRS for the first 2 laps, so it's going to be ERS usage on this straight. And we've got Jetfish. Well, my prediction's looking good there for 3rd place. Jetfish right up into 4th. What a start from him. He was down in 8th. So we've had some really fast starters. And looking at that already, rotation's got a 1 second gap. Oh, and we've got a McLaren going round. And that's Bakker. We'll see if we can catch what's happened there. He's okay. He's back on, but he might have lost his wing there. And KFC crucially kept Colin behind that lap, but Colin is still within DRS range. That will be activated in a lap or so time. And Colin pits. So it's interesting to see what he does here. I'll get back to the race at the front and I'll keep an eye on what he's doing on tyres. Obviously, Bakker's probably going to have to pit as well. I don't know if Rick got caught up in that, but he's 12 seconds off the back of the pack as well. No, both of them are staying out. And Colin switched to the hards. Scott, I'm not sure if he had wing damage. It didn't look like it, but I don't have TAS open tonight. Maybe he's trying to undercut them, I don't know. Colin's very good at making tyres last, but 26 laps is a hell of a long way. As we've got KFC actually gaining on rotation at the moment. He had been a second down on that back straight, but he's getting going. And we've got an incident. Higgsy's had a moment. And he's had a moment coming back on. He's good sportsmanship getting out of the way of his teammate Rick there. And as Bakker also goes past. And here comes Colin as well. We'll have a look at the position changes here. See if we can read anything else into what's happening. So, Oh No It's Joe was the big winner. 7 places gained. Obviously Jetfish had an unbelievable start up into the podium positions. And rotation and KFC also had a good start, jumping Colin off the start there. Richie's saying Colin loves the hards anyway, and that might be true. He's maybe he was worried about being stuck in traffic. And as he's already got past Higgsy up into 19th position, he's got his pit stop out the way. So if he can set some good times on those hards, you never know what can happen. Let's see if we've got some gaps. Evil Master and Richie are really close here, battling. And actually, Ricard's he's gained on Yanni here. He's really tight. That gap out in front rotation's got it back above a second, and it's actually spacing out a bit. There's a second between each of the first 5 drivers there. Yeah, not quite close enough, but DRS is now enabled, so we should start to see some movement up through the pack. And KFC in second place, that's not what he needed. A 3-second penalty, that gives rotation a bit more leeway as this race goes on. Unfortunately, Ricard's stuck in a bit of a DRS train. Yarni's borrowing it off Lucist as well. And we've got Andrew, he's making a pass, and he nearly... It looked like he might go through on Sminotta as well. Nearly ran into the back of him. Oh, and the Aston Martin's gone round. Oh no, it's Joe. He's got to be careful on the rejoin. Yeah, nowhere near the racing line. Good rejoin. As Evil Master pits. So if we maybe with Colin and Evil Master, we're going to see something completely different on strategy. As KFC moves within half a second of rotation, and Colin sets the fastest lap on those hard tyres. So if Colin can keep those lap times up, he will undercut these guys at the front, would be my thoughts. But obviously he has traffic to contend with. He's just 7 tenths behind Rick now, who's just passed Backer. Let's see if we can see what's happening there. The brothers battling, and Backer's having a look. Oh, and Colin's got them both. Yeah, and Backer looked like he wanted to make the move, but Colin just waited patiently and took both of them, and Backer's going for it round the outside. And Rick on the brakes. They're still fighting. No love lost between the two brothers here at all. And that's just allowed Colin to run off a bit. I'll keep on board with this. And Rick has a moment, so Backer gets through. Let's see what's going on with the leaders again. Yeah, rotation's pitting. So rotation, maybe fearing that undercut, has pitted, as well as Jetfish. So they're following. KFC's staying out, but he's obviously got a 3-second penalty. Lucist also staying out, and we're tight there behind. I know a few people watching Luke. He's now up into 8th, but he's doing battle with Brent, and this is incredibly tight battle between the two guys. Brent will have the inside line there. And Brent, what a start from him, up 13 places, absolutely flying on those hards. And it looks like the hards really aren't a bad race tyre at the moment. And have we had KFC have a moment? Yeah, KFC's had a moment from first place. And he's dropped right back. He's got to be careful on the rejoin. Yeah, he's safe there. But he's still going slowly. Oh, let's have a look. He's lost his front wing. So he must have spun coming out. Is it spun, spin, span? Don't even know. He's dropped it on the exit of that turn, and yeah, that's really compromised his race. So Colin's going to have another position back there. In fact, he's going to get him before he even gets to the pit lane. So Brent's up 14 positions now. Lucis takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And interestingly, for anyone who's watching, is rotation has come out behind Colin. But albeit he'll be on, let's get the tyres up. He's on, well, 2-3 lap fresher hard tyres. But Colin's undercut has worked very well. Because he's got about 2.5 second gap. Yanni's also pitting. We'll get back on board with Luke. And his fight with Brent, who's also fighting with Andrew now. Luke's just trying to keep pace with them. Obviously, Andrew's on the faster soft tyres, but they're not as durable, so he will be dropping back. And it looks like these tyres are coming into their own. Brent holds station. I think Luke will be eyeing this up and hope they battle a bit more and he can get both of them. But he's low on ERS. And Brent's close behind. It might be a smart move to wait a little bit longer. He's got the long straight and Andrew will not be getting DRS. Yeah, the activation point is just round this corner. Sorry, the detection point. Yeah, and Brent will have DRS. Can Luke get a double draft off here, though? We'll see Brent's going down the inside. He's going to get that move done before the corner. And Luke's closed right up. Gets it tucked in nicely. Brent ran a bit wide, but Andrew just hasn't got the rubber underneath him on those old softs now, as we see Lucis pit from the lead. And Andrew also pitted, allowing Luke past. So now we've got Rickard out in front with a 4-second gap to Sminotla, who's then a further, well, about 5 seconds ahead of Brent. all the fighting Brent's had to do has helped. And Marco, I think he's up from 19th there, so unbelievable from him. As back of pits, yeah, it's not been a great race so far for the McLaren boys in 18th and 19th. And let's see how Colin and Rotation are getting on. We've got Rotation right behind Colin now on track, but 3.5 seconds back. I think the closest battle at the moment really is Brent and Luke. Well, as I say that, Jetfish has just overtaken Emperor to Bone, but Jetfish is on fresh mediums. We'll get back on board with Luke. Sorry, it was on the wrong Ferrari there for a second. And I think Luke's just is dropped out of the DRS range. And only 1% ERS, so he's very marginal on that, whereas, well, Brent's only got 15%. Obviously he's braked there, so it's helped him out get a bit more. And Ricard pits from the lead. So the strategies are playing out very differently in a moment. Like, a lot of people go into the hards, but at very different times. Spinottler takes over the lead. And Colin already back up into 4th here. And how far is Rotation behind? Yeah, it's about 3.7 seconds. So we lost 2 tenths to Colin that lap. I think he'll be hoping that he meets some traffic. We've got Yarny and Emperor to Bone really close together here. And Cosmo's having a look as well. He's on the back of this. He has to run a bit wide, gives him the room. And that's going to leave Emperor to Bone really, really exposed to Cosmo here. And we'll see how this comes. It's a Red Bull sandwich round Cosmo at the moment. Ricard will be hoping to get past as soon as possible, considering his pace this race. He was leading the race, but what it has displayed to us is that the undercut really works. As we see Rotation getting past Marco. Marco is on very old softs though. And Ricard gets past. Will he have a look on his teammate? He does. Two cars in one straight, and I don't know if there's team play going on there, but Cosmo's now having a look. And he moves over to the inside. Bit of contact there. And a bit of contact again. He's having a look now. He's going to have the inside to this corner, but that's obviously the outside to the left-hander. Takes a bit of grass. It's getting a bit scrappy up here. And I think, oh no, it's Joe will be looking at this and licking his lips. Here we go, Cosmo. Is he going to send it up the inside? And Emperor to Bone really late on those brakes and defends the position very well. Which, oh no, it's Joe's had a... oh no, it's Joe's had a moment there. And we've got Evil Master and Always Rick. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. And I think that's Higgsy. Yeah, he's had a moment. I mean, sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up as much as possible. It's much more difficult when you haven't got a co-coms. And oh no, it's Joe again. Oh no. He nearly goes straight into the back of Cosmo there. And Cosmo has a moment. And he's going to get DRS, but he's got no gap at all now, and it also allows that Red Bull in front to get away a bit. The gaps ahead are a bit tighter, but we'll see what's happening behind. We've got Lucist also making a move on Cosmo after that. So he's took advantage. Unfortunately, that little moment for Cosmo's cost him dearly. But he's still going on these mediums. So he's extending. Now, shout out to Marco there. 9 laps on those softs. incredible. You'd think these would be absolutely shot by now, but he's trying to turn those softs into a one-stopper, and he's made up the track position. We see Rick pit again, so I don't know if he had a moment maybe behind Evil Master. Backer's in a race on his own at the moment, 11 seconds behind. And we've got Rickard closing up on Marco now, but Marco is on such old soft. Yeah, Richie Oh No is a tough name because he's had 2 Oh No moments. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. And I'm seeing Collins also close behind. I'll just quickly switch to that. He's close behind Luke. I imagine Luke will let him past as Colin is on fresher tyres, only by 2 laps, but Luke hasn't stopped yet. Yeah, and there we go, and we'll get back on board with Rickard. So Luke's trying to extend as well, and Sminotla's on the same strategy as Luke at the moment. Rickard seems to have got that one done fairly easily. Marco's not going to have the tyres to fight it back either. Yeah, and Collins posted another fastest lap on those hard tyres. I think that's only about 500ths quicker than his previous fastest lap, which just shows you how consistent he is with his times. We'll go back on board. Well, Luke's close behind Colin, but he's going to lose that because those mediums are going to be wearing quicker now. We'll see what Lucist is doing behind. Oh no, it's Joe. As Cosmo's slowly falling back through the order. Lucist on only 3 lap old mediums. He's going to have the fresh rubber against these guys. Thinks better of it there. I know it's Joe's run a bit deep there. And it can be incredibly easy to lose traction around some of these corners at China. I think I mentioned it in commentary yesterday. There is, since this game came out, there's quite a lot of corners where it's tough on traction. And oh no, it's Joe runs wide again. Lucis doesn't quite go for it. He's still got a DRS zone to come up, so it might be better just to wait. And he will have DRS now at this point, but he's dropped back a bit through there. As I say this, Cosmo's not far behind him either. And Evil Master's not far behind Cosmo. Let's see if we can catch them all. Well, Lucist's got that one done. He gets the inside line, keeps it tucked in nice and tidy. Joe has to back out a bit, which leaves him vulnerable to Cosmo. Cosmo's having a look round the outside, and he's gone for it. What a move by Cosmo. It takes some serious stones to have a look round the outside there. And they're fighting. There's a bit of weaving going on. Nothing that is illegal, just a bit of fighting for track position. Oh, and Lucis has spun. Lucis has spun while all that's been going on. The harsh drivers are attacking. Lucis has spun. From someone who was in the top 5 comfortably before, that's a disaster for him. And Evil Master's now having a move on Cosmo, his teammate. It gets the inside line. Yeah, just keeps it clean. And he'll be looking to chase after, but they're still fighting. Yeah, and Evil Master's just got that one done. Let's see what we can see going ahead. Colin's still got a gap ahead. Sorry guys, trying to find the best battles for you throughout. And yeah, and it was a disaster for Lucist after getting past some of the guys on a different strategy. He's dropped it at the first corner. I guess he might have run a bit wide onto the grass and lost it. And Evil Master is seriously close behind now, and as we see Sminotla pitting from the lead, keep an eye on that on your left hand side, see where he comes out. I imagine he'll come out ahead of this battle. He'll come out probably 8th, I would say. And Evil Master gets that done, nicely done. And he's on a bit of a charge now. We know he's got good pace round here from mid-gear. As Sminotla's leaving the pits, will I be right with my 8th prediction? Yeah, he does come out in front of Evil Master. Now, Cosmo is under pressure from a Red Bull once again here. just half a second behind. As Joe pits, he's put the hard tyres on, so he will definitely be going towards the end now. There's still no safety cars this race. We've still got all 20 runners. See some good battles and some incredibly clean racing. The McLarens, just to keep you updated, they have not had the ideal race. A couple of spins from them. The Ferraris are having a very good race, and Luke's still hanging on the back to Colin. We got rotation not far behind, and Jetfish too. I think on strategy right now we're looking at Colin first position, rotation second, and Jetfish third, which was actually incidentally my prediction. So let's watch that crumble in front of my eyes as the race goes on. And Lucist is close behind the Red Bull again here, but the fact that the Red Bull has DRS isn't going to help him out. I imagine they'll be staying in position here. Yeah, not going to risk it on the brakes. And Lucist, he's going for it. He's going to have the outside line for the first corner. Gets tight. They kept it clean, no touching of wheels, but he got so close. He's going to have the inside line to the left-hander, but he's might be a bit too far back, and he is. He's going to have to be patient. Can he get him under braking into the right-hander down here? And he gets a very, very good exit. Emperor Tapone looks a bit defensive, does the right thing, but Lucis just stays patient and shoves it up the inside. Beautiful driving from both of them. As we see Yanni pick up a penalty. That's a 3 seconds, so he's got a 2 second gap right now over Ricard, but Ricard's been cutting his way through the field. And I'll keep you with as tight battles as I can find. You've got Yanni and Jetfish, which is a tight one. I'm trying to give as many people. And we got rotation taking. Oh, Luke's pitted. That's why. So Luke's finally pitted. He'll be one stop in it, I imagine, from there. Got Backer right behind Emperor Tapone here. Oh, a little touch. Gets close under braking. Yeah, it's good to see no DNFs, Richie. It's been some hard racing out there, but clean as well. I've not seen anything to suggest stewards would be getting involved at all. And there's some seriously good battles going on in midfield. It's quite spaced out up in the top 8 or so at the moment. Well, certainly back to Evenwester. He's 8 seconds back from Sminotla. But this middle pack, it's getting really tight. There's 5 cars fighting for the same piece of track. And obviously Luke's just come out of the pits. He's got cold tyres and Backer. Oh, he's dropped it. He's hit his back wheel and he's dropped it. That's his front wing gone, I imagine. He's back out, but he's got serious damage. I think Luke was struggling on the cold tyres, which is no fault of Luke's. And I think Backer just went in a little bit deeper. And it's just unfortunate when you clip that back tyre, especially with these guys running no traction control. That's it, you lose it so easily. And that's giving us a bit more space again in the midfield, although these guys are still fairly close. We've got Brent finally pitting from the lead. Will he go for the mediums, I imagine? And we got Yanni chasing down Jetfish here. But Yanni's obviously, I think it's Yanni. I mean, I'm doing a silent J here. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows. But he's chasing down Jetfish. And has been, but the 3 second time penalty is going to cost him, as Cosmo also picks up a 3 second time penalty. And he's just a little too far back. He's going to have to be patient. There is, obviously, as we all know, a big straight coming up, and Jetfish has no DRS when they're in that straight. We see some movement in the midfield here, partly because the Red Bull of Emperor Tabone has pitted. as well as Becker after losing his front wing. Oh, and another car drops it. Cosmo on the outside. It's not the first car we've seen lose it there. Oh, a little bit tight on that rejoin, but gets away with it. What's the lead gap? The lead gap is 7 seconds at the moment, Richie. I'm having a look at the stream now. I can see it okay on the stream. I don't know if that's okay for everyone. I'm hoping I've not done it too badly. We'll get back on board with this fight. It's up to 7.5 now, Richie. I think Collins flying on these hards, but you never know. Rotation might just be looking after his tyres, because obviously Collins are 4 laps older than his, so tyre wear could still come into play as we see Yarni get past Jetfish into the hairpin. Jetfish will have DRS back on him, and he's having a look, and he's got him already into the first corner. Now what does Yarni do here? He stays patient. And that's the problem with China, with those 2 fairly long, well, it's 1 huge straight. The start-finish straight is also fairly long. It's a real issue of when to go for it because of the DRS. Do you stay patient? It's tough to do. But that's also me talking, and I'm not the best racer, as most of you in the league will know. So Yarni will be hoping to battle back for this position. Rotation seems to be holding that gap fairly steady to Colin at the moment for the lead. I think right now, and I don't want to curse it, but a safety car or something to close up these gaps a little bit would be very, very nice for some sprint race into the last lap. Just 11 laps to go. And it's going to get a bit scrappy here for 3rd place again. DRS is wide open, and he's going to send it into the hairpin. But again, this is going to give Jetfish the run into the first corner. If he can get a good exit, and looking at the ERS, there's 20% more to Jetfish, and he gets a nice exit. He seems a bit better through that corner than Yarni, but he's a bit further back than he was last time. It's going to be tighter as Brent sets the fastest lap. He's had very good pace. It's tighter. That's a terrible camera angle. I blame Codemasters for that one. And Jetfish is back through. And this is going to have to make Yarni think about how to get this move done, because the 3-second gap that he needs for that penalty is going away, because Rickard and Sminotla are fancying getting involved in on this battle. The 3rd place position is still all up for grabs. And we've got Sminotla close behind Rickard. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, and they hold station for another lap. Sorry, I went quiet there for a second. It's so much talking, I needed a sip of water. And we got Jetfish and Yarni fighting for position again, but Jetfish is pitted. So Jetfish is 2-stopping, maybe not taking a risk. And as we can see, Brent is pumping out those fastest laps. I mean, he's up in 6th. That's 14 positions gained. What a race. 5th in the championship. This will be more solid points to him. I'm trying to remember what the championship is standings are looking like. I'm just trying to keep track of everything that's going on. There's that much happening, it's very hard to do. And I believe Luke's in 2nd in the championship, so he's going to lose out to Colin. Colin's 1st, so he'll extend his gap at this current position. And I do believe Jetfish is third in the championship. Yes, he is. So Jetfish could do with having some mega laps on those mediums to the end of the race. I'm quite surprised he didn't take the softs for 9 laps. But maybe he thinks the mediums are a better race tyre. And for Brent, if results stay as they are, he will jump Andrew, who's in 16th and outside the points in the championship, and tighten the gap on Jetfish a bit. So Brent's had a brilliant recovery from 20th on the grid. And Richie, in case you can't see, I'm aware that you are struggling to see on the left. The gap out front now is 9.1 seconds. So Colin is extending it, but is he pushing hard? As we've got 5 cars fighting the battle for third place here. Oh, sorry, one of them is Cosmo, who has been lapped. He's at the back of this 4-car train. And Sminotler and Rickard are doing battle, and they're close behind with Brent. Well, Brent's got past Sminotler. And he's using all this to his advantage. He's got the advantage as well with the medium tyres being quicker than the hards. Rickard's on 11-lap old hards comparative to Brent's 3-lap mediums. And Yanni in front of him is on 13-lap mediums. So he might have to pit again unless he can eke out the tyres. But you'd imagine his times are going to drop off a lot. And let's see what happens here with this battle. So it might be Rickard on Yanni, because Yanni doesn't have the DRS. He can't get close enough. And it's still tight between these guys. Cosmo, albeit a lap down, I think. Is he a lap down? Yeah, he is 1 lap down. He is keeping pace with them. So he has had good pace, Cosmo. He just had that spin. Yeah, we've got 4 runners here separated by 8 temps. And Brent's through to 4th. And what a recovery drive this is now. And this is huge for his championship battle. This might catapult him into the top 3. Although we'll see what Jetfish has to say about that down in 8th. But he's 2 seconds behind Evil Master. But Evil Master on much older tyres. Can he climb through the field? And obviously this is the 8th round of a 16-round season. So it's the halfway point, and these points really start to matter, and it gets down to crunch time. And that's some team play going on there. I think Yanni letting Brent through and defending, and a bit of contact from Sminotler and Rickard. I think Sminotler is trying to use that distraction to get through. Couldn't quite get there, and Brent's away. Oh, and we see... Oh, and I don't know what's exactly happened there. I think he's done what Bakker did, coming onto the straight, and a few people did that in mid-gear last night, and he's lost it. And has he lost his front wing? I'm trying to check on that for you guys. It's not giving me a very good camera angle at the moment. But disaster struck for Rickard. He looks like... Yeah, he's lost a bit of his left front wing end plate there, so he's probably going to pit. He'll lose so much time. As Yanni also pits, he's gone incredibly long on those mediums, so I guess he's going to go for a quick stop onto the softs, and he is. Yeah, and unfortunately the top 3 now, they are separated, well, almost evenly by 20 seconds. 10 seconds, well, 11 seconds between Colin and rotation, and a further 8 seconds back is Brent, but Brent has the much fresher mediums. But I think he'll be a bit too far back, but it was always going to be tough to get all the way up from 20th. Now, what battles have we got going on? I'll switch back to intervals so I can see. We've got Jetfish and Evil Master tight. And Evil Master going very well. We knew he had good pace in mid-gear yesterday, and he'll be happy to see his race get a bit further tonight, and he's really elongating those hard tyres, 17 laps in, but Jetfish on 2-lap-old mediums is going to be all over the back of him soon. And looking further behind, I think Luke will fancy getting in on this, just 2 seconds behind. He'll be hoping for another top 5. He's been incredibly consistent throughout this season. Yeah, and Jetfish a bit too far back. And Evil Master must have a pretty decent setup in a straight line. And again, Jetfish using his ERS. Oh, and he's got a great exit off there. Evil Master struggling with the rubber. And Jetfish will get that move done pretty easily. Evil Master probably won't fight too hard. He's looking at some decent points, but he does fight hard back. And that's a brave move around the inside. And very good. Wasn't defending, but like trying to overtake back. And unfortunate, but you can see Jetfish off the corners on those fresh tyres is just able to pull away. And we got Luke catching those two as we speak. Let's see what else we got going on. We got, oh no, it's Joe behind Lucist. But I think Lucist may have just overtaken him in the last few laps on those fresher tyres. We see Backer pitting again, not been the race he was looking for, and neither for always Rick. The brothers struggling a bit tonight, just some racing incidents happening, and that can spell the end of your race. And we got Yarny on the back of Luke on those fresh softs, and he's got a great exit, and he's got DRS, and it's going to be easy work. And he flies past him. Now Luke will be hoping to follow Yarny through, because he will be onto Evil Master, well, I'd imagine not far through this next lap, because Evil Master's running very old hard tyres. Yeah, and he sets the fastest lap of the race, no surprise there, and 1:33.8, that's an unbelievable lap, but he's on the fresh softs. And Evil Master, fair play, is hanging on to the back of Jetfish here. He's dropped back a little bit, but on those old hards, it's incredible. And Rickard now steals the fastest lap by 2/10 from Yarny. Rickard obviously having that moment off the corner onto the back straight, which cost him dearly. But he's all over the back of Maggot. We might have a quick look on board there. He's going to have to stay patient, but on those softs I think he'll get the run. Maybe not, it's not a massive overtaking opportunity there. And obviously in RPM, well, in case you don't know, it's points down to 15th. So for your championship, this all matters. So Andrew, for example, is fourth in the championship. That 1 point could be crucial to keeping that top 5 place come the end of the season. So it's important to keep racing. You never know what can happen. But still 20 runners, no DNFs. And Rickard's going to get this done very easily with the DRS assistance. As we see Rick pick up a 3-second penalty. And as I say that, I've cursive commentator, Cosmo's retired. I'm not exactly sure where. I can see where. If I go on board with Evil Master, he's going to come past it. And it is a safety car. It's a safety car. And we're going to have a sprint for the last 3 laps. And I apologise to all the drivers who didn't want a safety car. Maybe the top 3 guys, because they were in a league of their own there on timings. Well, it's a sprint to the end. And we've got some guys already pitting. They were at the right point in the track to get in the pit straight away. And we've got to see what the front runners do. They've got a whole lap to get round. Richie saying, wow. Yeah, Richie, I can't believe it. I can't believe, wow, for two reasons. Can't believe we had no safety cars, no DNFs all the way up to that point. But when the gaps were getting spread out, it's turned it into a great little sprint race for all of us watching. And as we know, Yanni gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. He'll be gutted by that because I think he's now up at 8-second penalties. I'll just check that for everyone. Yeah, I agree, Richie. Let's see rotation and Colin battle, because as we know from the first lap, from the standing start, the rotation was... He caught Colin out a bit there. He got an amazing start in the first phase and the second phase, not just letting off the clutch with optimal revs. He managed to find that traction and really did well. Cosmo saying some things can happen. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess it's... I saw where your car ended up, Cosmo. Yeah, I think there's a few corners here that are a bit tough on traction, and we've seen a few people spinning today, so unfortunate for you there, but you looked like you had good race pace. Just unfortunate you had that spin earlier in the race as well. Just to run you through the penalties, we got KFC and the McLaren on 3 seconds. Maggot has a drive-through, so I imagine he's been speeding behind, well, under the yellow flags. Yanni got a 5-second penalty as well for ignoring yellow flags, on top of his 3-second already, so it's 8 seconds for him, so that's going to change everything coming to the last laps, because I think there's only going to be, well, the safety cars in this lap. So the grid's not even going to close up that much. But we're going to have a battle for the podium, because Brent, rotation, Colin are right there. Well, Jetfish is there, Yanni's there, but his 8-second penalty will cost him. Sminotla will catch the pack before they go live. Evil Master's in a race against time to get there. I think they might struggle to catch up. Although it's a long straight, the safety car going slowly. Yeah, hopefully no problems for either. We'll see. We'll get on board with Colin to see when he goes, or we'll probably go on board with rotation so we get a better look at it. And he's doing a bit of a Max Verstappen here, getting alongside. And Colin's gone. Oh no, has he? Yeah, he kind of did. And a smart little move from Colin there. Very good racecraft. Yeah, and Evil Master did manage to get within 1.3 seconds of Sminotla, so it has closed up, but it's, you know, it's still a fairly, you know, from 10th downwards, it's still quite dispersed. So we've got two separate races happening here. The drivers behind Marco are in a different race here. And I actually think Brent has some really good pace here. He's looked good throughout the race. He's carved his way through the field. And can he do the ultimate with just 2 laps remaining? I mean, it's an almighty task to usurp Colin from first place, but if he can, that's 20th to first. Yeah, and the podium runners showing their pace advantage already. Jetfish dropping back to 1.8 seconds. And we'll keep on board with this top 3, because this promises to be exciting. I don't know if they'll have DRS. With it being just one more full lap after this one. As we see Sminotla get past Yanni, and Colin sets the fastest lap of the race. Well, Sminotla's would have got past anyway due to the penalty. But this is the battle we're interested in. It's for first place. All the podium positions could still change. You never know what happens, but Colin does seem to be pulling away a little bit. Rotation seems to be struggling a bit, and Brent seems to be bit quicker than rotation at this stage in the race. Jetfish now dropping back to 3.3 seconds behind these guys. So this is the battle for the race win and the podium. Andrew picks up a 3-second penalty, and that could potentially cost the points. Backer will probably be a bit too far behind. We'll get on board with Brent. He can see everything happening in front of him. There's going to be no DRS, I don't believe, on this straight, so it's going to come down to last corner. And I think Colin, it looks like he got a good exit off there. Yeah, he did. Rotations following in that slipstream, so is Brent. Sminotla's right behind Jetfish, just behind this. I might switch quickly to have a little look at this. No DRS. He's not going to get it done. I'm going to switch back to the leaders quickly. I think it's going to stay in position. Colin gets a great win. Rotation really good. And Jetfish is out. Jetfish is out. And I should have stayed on with Jetfish. That's my fault. I apologise for that. Where's he dropped it? He must have dropped it on the exit. And he did drop it on the exit. And he'll be gutted. And Jetfish, who was third in the championship, well, Brent might take that third place off him in the championship. And we see Brent from 20th to 3rd. Colin makes a recovery after being jumped on the start by Rotation and KFC. KFC having a moment that dropped him back to 7th. Rotation, good pace, but Colin had it on the hards, it looked like. Evil Master with a good showing up into 5th. Sminotla 4th. Luke some more solid points in 6th. Backer will be relieved to see he gets 15th in the end after having a bit of a nightmare tonight with some spins and other incidents, so he gets a point. Rickard only finishing just less than 1/10 behind KFC, an incredibly close finish. Don't know what's going on with Rick here. I'm guessing he got caught with the safety car or maybe a lap down. He'll be the last one to cross the line. But some great racing today. Some good battles. We saw a battle between the Backer brothers. Some great battling with... you'll have to remind me who it was now. Without the names, I'm going to struggle to remember. Well, Brent getting through the field was amazing. We had the battle between, I think, was it Jetfish and one of the Alfa Romeos? Jetfish and Yanni, was it? I think that we had that amazing battle with halfway through the race. And just some incredible racing from these guys. And a bit of excitement at the end. Glad to see we had a safety car just to tighten it up a bit. But Colin takes the win and extends his gap in the championship. Rotation with a very good showing, and Brent will climb up the championship with a very solid 3rd from 20th on the grid. And a shout out to Sminotla, Evil Master and Luke for really gaining some positions, and Marco as well, 19th to 10th. And there we have it, guys. That's round 8, China completed of high gear here. Be sure to tune in next week. We are, I believe, at Portugal for round 9. We'll have low gear Tuesday, mid gear on Wednesday, and high gear again on Thursday. I've been RPM Jones, and thanks for tuning in tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the race.